Hey there, it's Ben from Pattern Profits bringing you the weekend update and weekly watch list for the week of July 4th. But first, we're going to take a look at small cap growth via the IWO, that anchored VWAP off of the most recent low, holding as support late in the week. In Friday, even able to reclaim that anchored VWAP from off of that prior swing high. 217.34 becomes an important level to watch above. You have the potential here for a higher low. Need to push through 217.34 though to put in a higher high. You're in 1020 cloud there, 5065 cloud just above there. So still plenty of work to do, but IWO looking much better as compared to FFTY. New low on Friday, anchored VWAP from off of the prior low. You're trading below there. Did close high in the range on Friday, so maybe some continuation upside there early in the week. 1020 cloud just above, so we'll have to see if that hammer candle can confirm continuation upside. If we look at PDP, anchor VWAP from off of the most recent low, holding that level Thursday and Friday. 10 portion of 1020 cloud acting as resistance. Again, if we can get some upside continuation there, get into 1020 cloud, maybe back towards that anchored VWAP from off of the May low. This kind of acting like a VWAP pinch here. You've seen it act as resistance here, support a couple times now below. So we'll just have to see how it acts early in the week. Getting into our watch list, couple names from last week that still seem undecided. LNTH being one of them. I still think this has kind of a head and shoulders look to it, especially if it rolls over here. But you've got that power of three set up there with 10, 20, 50 cloud. It looks undecided. You had kind of a volatile session on Friday. It looked like it was going to break lower, looked like it was going to break higher, and kind of close right in the middle of the range. Anchored VWAP from off of the high where you ended up closing. Anchored VWAP from off of the power earnings gap back here, closed below that level, but you're still right there in 50, 65, and 1020 cloud right there. So still the potential for this to come out to the upside, the power three, or could just as easily roll over to the downside and maybe offer up opportunity on the short side for the more aggressive traders. Going to also take a look at GSK, this one from last week as well. Kind of undecided, just moved sideways, but did put in a nice bullish outside candle on Friday right off 1020 cloud. Still a 5065 cloud above, did close just above year to date anchored VWAP. You have that anchored VWAP from off of the high and the descending trend line there. That's the one I'm really paying attention to. If it can push through this anchored VWAP from off of the high and 5065 cloud, want to see it take out that descending trend line ahead of 45.14. That's your double bottom pivot where you've got this as your shakeout and then nice move up the right side. We've seen some good volume coming in. The group has been acting well. As this move sideways, volume did ease up, but want to see upside continuation there back through that descending trend line and then take out 45.14 on big volume. Again, that's GSK. Also going to take a look. It's a little thinly traded, but setting up nicely. Science Applications, SAIC. This one, cup with handle pattern. You have an earnings gap within there. And volume really kind of eased up last week as this consolidated sideways, putting in the handle there. 1020 cloud caught up. And then you had the nice move Friday. 95.96 now the standard pivot above. If you get upside continuation there, want to see it take out 95.96 on big volume. Again, that's SAIC. Not the most exciting name in the market, but AT&T may be worth keeping an eye on there. Had this little coil consolidation, came out of there to the upside. Now you've got that pivot above 21.53 if you zoom out, part of a much larger cup with handle pattern. But 21.53, that pivot above, needs a push through there on big volume. You saw a nice run back here, good volume coming in, quiet volume as this little coil consolidated there, and then pushing up and out. We'll see what volume looks like if and when it comes through 21.53. Again, that's AT&T, ticker symbol T. Raytheon, aerospace defense, not looking bad last week, recovering a bit. this little descending channel that we have here, looking for that to push out of there to the upside. 1020 cloud acted as support, push back through 5065 cloud, back through year to date anchored VWAP. So just want to see if it can come out of that channel. Keep in mind this pivot would act as double bottom pivot. That's 168 cents. Push up and through there, you're out of the double bottom pattern. But want to see if we can get out of this channel. Early entry opportunity there, pushing through the upper end of that range of that channel. Again, that's Raytheon RTX. This group, Dollar Tree, still undecided, kind of setting up here, moving sideways. Have this descending trend line. Want to see if it can push through there. Needs to reclaim the clouds as well as anchored VWAP from off of the power earnings gap. 163.70 the high from the power earnings gap. If you could push back above that trend line and above these levels, at the same time, this could roll back over to the downside, setting up potential short opportunity. But also within the group, DG looks good, came through the pivot. 239.97 was that pivot, now flagging back into 1020 cloud on easing volume. Anchored VWAP from off of the high, needs to push through and reclaim that level. Don't forget about this prior high over here, 260, 220. But if we can get a close above that anchored VWAP, looks good for another leg higher there. You can see how those wicks, zoom in a little more, unable to push above that anchored VWAP, close above. If you push through there, maybe takes out that 251.21 and then gives you that run back towards the prior high. So both DLTR and DG in the group worth keeping an eye on early next week. FNKO, another one that's been on my radar for a while. If you zoom out to this part of a much larger cup with handle and just kind of stair stepping up the right side, you had that power earnings gap back here. 22.19 was the cheat pivot, came through there on the gap, then came back, retested that level, held late last week. 1020 cloud right there. You had a little shakeout on Friday and then a nice recovery, closing near the highs. Volume picking up there as well. 25.08 now the standard pivot above. Needs to push through 25.08 on big volume. That will confirm that much larger cup with handle pattern. But cheat pivot holding and working well in FNKO. One more to take a look at. Another one, hot group, Eli Lilly. 324.08 was a pivot. Came through there. Saw decent volume coming in on the way up and now kind of flagging back into that pivot, and a strong recovery on Friday, closed up high in the session. You got this little descending trend line, part of that flag pattern, needs to push up and through there. So 324.08 closed above, and that's kind of the level to watch. 1020 cloud is catching up to price. So want to see if maybe this goes sideways another couple days, allows 1020 cloud to catch up a little more and then pushes up and through that descending trend line. Or if the market's strong and the group's acting well, healthcare, biotech acting really strong, and these drug makers kind of starting to participate and set up within that group as well. So again, if we can push through this little descending trend line up and out of that flag with 324.08 holding, look for Eli Lilly, make a next leg higher. This pivot at 330.85 in play once you push through that descending trend line. So again, worth keeping an eye on early next week. That's all I have into the week ahead. Hope you have a great trading week, and I will see you over on FinTwit.